Okay, yeah. I'm going Los Motos as well. The lineup of Invaders is just too greedy. There is not enough room for everybody. They are gonna be disrupting their own farming patterns, and this is Axel.
There must be something with the tags, you know, just adding as there's a Stormhammer from Jim Park. Surprise for Alone, but he is not actually alone as Stinger and Michael, they rotate around, but stuck as the Arc Warden and eventually gonna die despite a nice stun from Sacred. Sladen will be the exchange kill. Can they get Kotaro on top of this, or even Stinger? Something more would be so nice. Beautiful fade. Bolt, but at the same time, no kill onto Stinger.
As we can already see, he's leading by 2 last hits. Oh, I'm sorry, because we missed a kill because of me. Stinger and Kotaro might be run down as well. Nice spike.
Beautiful spike. But the Inferno Blade as well. Devil diving in, but the Scorched Earth. It's a good tactic.
After level 6, with an additional hero. But talking about the additional hero, now they have 2.
No time to chit chat as Devil diving down. Yeah, there goes the Scorched Earth. It's a good play, but at the cost of sacrificing Devil, I think Sladen might get caught as well, as the Tempest double is actually going to set up another Spark Wraith, and Kotaro is happy to take the kill. Hi, XTS, or actually named Stinger, as X-Stinger gonna get wrecked 2 pieces. And yeah, an instant 4-man reaction.
Or 3-man
coming out onto Devil as Lucifer himself. It's like a big exorcism coming out from Invaders as they're gonna move on to Los Motos' offlane once again, taking Sladen with them. For granted, Michael gets the kill, while Kotaro is just gonna be happy that he can chill farm. But they're mitigating it a lot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because that's the tower that's enabling your Sven to farm the jungle. Once the tower falls, or you need the initiation to slide in, it's gonna be a kill.
Bye, Simba. As Winter's Curse on Stinger. Okay, interesting. As Axel trying to escape the double Wraith. Spark as Faker rotating out. Get that back hole off on top of Faker. Biased towards that. I think the Echo's just too good with the got strength as Sladen. He's just multi-sucking people off. Sacred with a very low HP. Faker diving forward, and he's just gonna overload the Centaur as the black hole once again with the connection, but stunned down. Controlled is the Enigma. As on to Michael, they make a return. Los Motos. Oh no.
No.
My analyst, ladies and gentlemen. As up with the stun onto Stinger. He has nothing to answer, as he will pay for his sins. Doom out onto Alone. Nice stampede control, but the Doom is stolen. Devil get wrecked by the Rubik Pentagram. Down bottom, we have a big catch onto Sacred. As with the God Strength, Jim Park just takes care of the Centaur Warrunner. There is, on the other hand, Faker. Oh no, he's not gonna go in for the bounty, knowing full well that there's a black hole waiting just for him with his name on it.
His bait was huge. They scanned the top part, the Roche, top part of the Roche pit. They found out that they might be doing Roche. Then the Centaur showed on bottom that he's gonna be safe farming, and they got him. Now they are gonna be going for Roche. Oh, the strategy of this game, or actually realizing that they don't have enough damage, so they are gonna be smoking up. Oh my god!
Here comes the smoke blade though from Invaders. They're coming in with the reaction axles, very front and center, which I'm not really a fan of. Is Jim Park stoning of the Warcry Alone, going forward with the Tempest double, but here comes Devil with the Shiva's Guard. He's trying to find some information. They find the loot on the back line. Kotaro is just gone. MNZ is dead. But yes, they do find the counter onto the Winter Wyvern. That is a crucial part of the Los Motos plan. Stinger, on the other hand, and he just, he wanted the black hole, but the Stormhammer shoved in his face. Goodbye, Stinger.
That was the black hole interrupted. He even casted it. Oh no.
He's just tempting them with a bit of a taunt, but out, ball lightning backwards. Michael jumping with Sacred. There goes the Doom as the stolen Doom going back onto Devil. Stinger trying to make an approach, then goes with the harpoon. Jim Park, he's just cleaving through the Tempest double along with Stinger. taking out the Enigma there. I hear an Eclipse going out, but the Hex play stayed, and he's just sitting with his suction. As he stuns up the Luna Faker, he cannot slide long enough, but the Harpoon will pull in the Rubik nice and close. The Arctic Burn stolen will not do any help for the Rubik.
That's Sacred.
Slide in onto the Centaur. He doesn't get the hoof stomp off though. Yule?
He just wants to force the Stampede.
Yule stamp up. And yeah, with the Stampede trying to run away as in comes Stinger. Does have the black hole available. You'll put it out onto 2 as the stolen out. Arctic Burn. A control onto the Enigma as they will just start hunting people down, finding the real Arc Warden. He's not the Pinocchio this time as Kotaro in with the God strength. Jim Park going forward. He has the Aegis, he has the BKB, and the power of the devil behind him, but no,
he's having fun.
I don't know what Sladen's doing. It's such a weird build. If they would be losing, it would be so bad for the best Faker. Gotta eat the Eclipse as in comes Jim Park. He's like, I'm gonna lay down the Stormhammer as a Doom down onto Kotaro on top of everything. Hex up onto the Enigma. 70 seconds without the Luna. As Stinger trying to throw out some Eidolons is still gonna get mana sucked as the Cleave is doing so much damage onto the Enigma. Devil super deep with the Winter's Curse. A bit of control coming out onto Sacred. As with the BKB, Devil's just gonna disconnect. Beautiful Gleipnir timing though, as with the Hustam, they'll take out.
Sacred dying once again. So Stampede, no mana. Oh no.
An unholy death on Sacred. As Kotaro.
That's why you build the wall magic one, not just the stick. Lesson learned.
Kotaro gonna get the Tormentor with the help of the Eidolons. Stinger almost dying into the play. As yeah, Alone now has the Boots of Travel, but as we can see Faker just diving in onto Stinger, trying to bait out the black hole. As Jim Park, he's just wrecking down Kotaro. My lungs. It's not a good day to be Kotaro right now.
Yeah, and look at them. They almost up.
Catch out onto the Rubik. Michael is just gone. Gleipnir onto 2. Alone coming about. But no kills, no dice, no coconuts as Sacred gonna get pulled back with the Harpoon. Arctic Burn on the other side will try and double edge onto the enemy as Jim Park. He's just gonna throw out the Stormhammer and Faker. He's just right there with the connection. Sacred will fall like a pile of bricks. Wind Waker, I love it. More intelligence, more damage. And speaking of Faker, more damage, more control. Kotaro, they just easily control the Luna as a huge stun coming out from Clayton. From the other side of the map, they just dive to high ground now. As the Doom comes out, Doom stolen, throw it out onto Faker. As out comes the Winter's Curse, they get control onto Rubik. As the Wind Waker will save out on the Storm. As Stinger will call out the GG and Los Motis, our caster Bless, will push them to the victory of game number 1.
Absolutely dominating as soon as they realize that, guys, we can actually have 5 good players, 5 good heroes. How about we start pressing buttons and start buying items? And yeah, they won the game. Okay, let's see how this game is gonna be looking. At least Doom got the right set. Poor Stinger doesn't have any sets, you know, because his account got compromised.
You know, honestly, like, as it's a big meet after the smoke, Stinger will break Sladen's. Actually just walking straight across. Jim Park with the wraparound. We'll put out the early observer. Ward Alone will be spotted.
They were about to pull out the same play. Oh, see Smile?
Oh, they see Chris Luck though. Dodging out of here. Oh, it's actually C-Smile here instead of Faker. Hello there, how's it going? Well, why not get bullied by Invaders straight up from the game, and it's Stinger. Moving on to Michael. Axel moving in with the Mystic Snake as the Fable connects on so many of them. Jim Park with the Stormhammer coming out, but the Snowball, it's just delaying inevitable as Michael will fall.
These teams, to my knowledge, their current standings have not really ever faced each other before. So this is a fresh matchup.
Yeah, fresh can be. And for those of you, old school Beast Coast fans like myself, look, we're not supposed to be biased in any
Dire
capacity,
team
but
back.
I would love to see Stinger versus Chris Luck Grand Finals. I know we had a bunch of that
Sure.
with the whole EG Beast Coast
Yeah.
saga back in SADPC. It's been a while. Okay, XTS
has.
of course on Invaders is Stinger after he unfortunately, unfortunately something happened to his main account that we won't discuss on there. But okay, look, Plasma
5
Vitapla.
seconds
If you're
remaining.
watching for the first few times, you're not gonna really recognize these names. But this is Akatsuki, one of the top
Yes.
teams in the entire group stage. They have absolutely smashed it. I think this combination, this iteration of this lineup has really shown us some high highs.
Absolutely. And to be fair, there haven't been many, I was going to say some low lows, but there really haven't been any. There's been some middles, but I wouldn't necessarily say that anything from Plasma have been too incredibly low. They've been looking, like you said, really, really good.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny that you say this because this pivots exactly into the point I want to make.
Radiant team back.
Middles, okay? Specifically for this matchup, it's going to be RoboZ up against Alone. And I don't know if you know anything about Alone, but there's a reason why you're such a highly sought after prized mid laner in this region as compared to RoboZ, who even in the moments where
10 seconds
Plasma have
remaining.
looked great, his performance has been
5 seconds
good,
remaining.
Yeah.
okay, I've never been RoboZ's carrying the game. I'm always like,
Radiant
okay,
team
Kiri's
pick.
looking
Dire
pretty
team
spicy.
pick.
They're really doing it. Kiri and Prada are really doing a good job here. Never really, wow, what a RoboZ performance where he put the team on his
Sure.
back. And when you're up against a superstar much like Alone, I think you need to make sure your chops are all in the right place. Your knives are sharpened, you're ready to hustle because it's going to be uphill
10
climb for sure in that
seconds
mid
remaining.
lane.
And this is where I would have liked to see maybe more
5 seconds
ganking
remaining.
supports. I mean, Batrider can gank, don't get me wrong, but nothing
Yeah.
beats a Lion
Dire
gank.
team pick.
Right. Level 4 Lion comes rolling up to your lane with a Hex, a stun, level 2 mana drain, and you're like, shit, I'm out of resources. Like, either way, if you don't kill me, I'm out of mana. So I'm having a very hard time in lane anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like a double negative when a Lion comes to gank your lane. And
10 seconds remaining.
Enigma Batrider, if this is the support, right? This could be a 3
Radiant
Enigma,
team
but if this is the support duo from Plasma,
Sure.
we're gonna have really no mid pressure.
Yeah. Now, speaking of mid pressure, Chen and Lion, the perfect tag team duo to ball up into the mid lane. They got kill pressure and they got tower push pressure. They're building themselves a Luna lineup. And this is something you always got to be wary
10
of
seconds
against Stinger.
remaining.
I think he's one of the few Pulse 5s in the entirety of SA that routinely
seconds
brings this out
remaining.
whenever he has the chance. And this is kind of like a litmus test, right? Start things out, you throw them a Chen lineup, see how they deal with it. I think this is kind of one of the major steps that each Dota team needs to go past. There are a few key recurring strats, like whether it's Zoo, whether it's split map, whether it's 5v5, that you need to master because you're going to go against teams that specialize in this, and Invaders, they're already throwing you a bit of a curveball to start things out.
I think the most recent like Chen stomping or like typical Chen game, which is you want the game to be over by 25 minutes because hell if you have to play a 60-minute Chen game. That is pain and sorrow.
Yeah.
But the most recent memory I have is like the Game in Nouns game, where it was Game and just pick this Chen and stomp them in like 22 minutes. Like it wasn't even close, kind of stomp them.
Look,
This is kind of what Invaders want to do. Yeah.
Look, I was there. It was the most uninteresting viewing experience ever. We saw the Chen pick, we're like, all right, time to go for lunch. Celery's gonna nab him. That's exactly what happened. But you were mentioning this is what Invaders want to do. What about Plasma though? What are you seeing in their lineup so far? I mean, there's a whole bunch of team fight, but it feels a bit clunky when you pair it up together. They're gonna tag team up with a Sven. Is this enough to resist what Invaders have, you reckon?
I really like this combination of heroes, right? I think Enigma Dawnbreaker is pretty strong. Because if you land your spells, like either one of them, if you land them on multiple heroes, it's going to enable Batrider and Sven to do a lot of damage. Any sort of AoE control is great into these supporting lineups. Now, I am curious as to what they're doing lane-wise. Like I wonder if it's Sven Enigma, Dawn Bat, or if it's a 4 Dawn, 3 Enigma. Like, it kind of shifts around what they want to do depending on where their Dawnbreaker Enigma are. But generally it should be go around, look for kills, make room for Sven, try to pick off this Luna as much as you can because you don't want her hitting her first early timing. Because if you let a Luna with an early timing with a Chen, it's curtains for you, right? You have nothing to stand up against it at that point.
There is no surprise here that Invaders are covering their bases very well. I was just about to say, you kind of need someone on the front lines to resist all this pressure, and they pick one of arguably the strongest front liners available. Doom and DK banned out, Timber taken out of the pool as well, and Viper was the first ban from Plasma. So no surprises there. Worth noting that in the 2 games that Invaders have played, which happens to be the only 2 games they've played for a long while, this lineup. They had Lion in both, and they crushed the game in 30 minutes. So both times they picked pretty high tempo carries of the Luna, the TA. Didn't have a Chen, unfortunately. This will be the first time they're showing it, and it's a very similar formula, right? They have a strong sort of call pushing sort of strategy. They have heroes that can get kills, move around the map, make it happen. And I'm already a bit scared for Plasma. Now, you did ask about the the orientation of the Plasma heroes. I kind of think there's gonna be a Bat Rider Enigma, right? We've seen Bat Rider support do mad work, and Enigma on the 5 just kind of feels like where it fits the best now, right? You don't want to rely so much on that offlane Enigma having to hit that crazy team fight. It's too much stress, man.
It is, right? It's the same thing where like with Magnus, you put so much pressure on a team fight ability, and it makes it so that you kind of feel like you're all in it, like all of your eggs are in that basket. With the support Enigma, he's going to be an aura bot. Black Hole is nice. Sure, it's great. Like a big team fight element, sure. But you'd be happy to pick off one hero with it, right? Come 40 minutes, you'd love to commit 1 Black Hole for 1 core kill. That is an easy trade. No need for big 5-man Black Holes. That's why you've got Dawnbreaker, Bat Rider, right? These are other ways to shore up your team fight. You've got AoE control, you've got damage with Sven, Bat Rider. Enigma just kind of needs to exist.
Now, the one thing that I'm looking at Plasma's lineup for is just some sort of sustained damage, or someone who can fight a bit more regularly, right? I have a feeling, Enigma, Bat Rider, they're gonna want to get things going. Maybe a Spirit would have been good if the Kunkka just didn't get picked right there. This is likely gonna be the mid lane. Now, we have seen players switch it up, Kunkka off lane, Primal Beast mid. But, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Kunkka off lane, a little bit washed up for my taste. Not
washed up.
And I don't really know if it does good into the Sven, because I feel like Sven doesn't really care about your harass, doesn't really care about your setup. He's always gonna be able to escape. And I the only rationale I can think about is maybe you Tidebringer the Eidolons. Okay, they're gonna go into the jungle.
Just trample them though.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. And then the Eidolons are still gonna, we have no HP, we can't contest in lane anymore. Let's go stack camps for the Sven. Let's do that, right? It's pretty straight.
That's the goal.
Monkey King, though. This is a...
Okay,
we talked about the mid lane matchup. This is a Robo Z Siggy, right?
Yes, it is.
How are you feeling?
It's looking spicy for Plasma. This is also going to be Adrian on the Dawnbreaker, a more carry-like hero for Adrian. I know, like, more of a pause 1 player, more of a greedy farming off laner. So I think Dawnbreaker fits the bill really well. Split the lanes, join your team with your ultimate, and that should be the cycle for Adrian. The only problem I have is when you play like that on Dawnbreaker, it leaves a lot of aggressive moves to be made on your Monkey King, Bat Rider, Enigma. And sometimes they might get a little bit of wet feet, so it's up to Plasma to kind of really have their supports push forward aggressively and make sure that this Dawnbreaker has any sort of impact in these fights.
Yeah, I think the key thing for me that I really like about this Kunkka pick, even into the Monkey King, is the way that Invaders are going to ball up. It's going to force you to try and split map. You have shot that up a bit with the Dawnbreaker and the Monkey King, but that is where Alone comes in. If he TPs in the fog and whatnot, just catches you on an X marks, it's BKB pop or you're out, right? So I think Invaders, it's a nice last pick, but it almost felt like Plasma were keenly aware that this was going to be the selection, right? That instant monkey.
They were hoping for something like that.
Right? So I gotta kind of imagine that there is some sort of grand plan for Plasma. It's also worth noting that with the BKB from Prada, if he gets to that point, there isn't really a good disable, unless you're telling me Seika can really tuck his little backside into the area where the Black Hole's not going to pull him in and get a pulverize off. That's might be just a bit too much to ask.
he onslaughts in, does like a Tokyo drift around the black hole, and then grabs Enigma from behind.
I wonder if you know how I got you in black hole. Ah, okay, that's
Oh, that's a good.
right. And everyone's just scratching their damn heads, like, "Yo, what the hell are we doing here? Like, how did this guy make it happen?" Now, look, Sacred, Stinger, of course, top tier players. I think everyone will recognize them. But worth mentioning, we already talked a bit about Alone, but this is the MNZ, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the sort of carries who's always been middling around in sort of almost tier 1 territory, right? He's made his way to a couple of international events, never really made it past the initial group stages or wildcards. Or you think about maybe the last time he saw a high caliber of success was back in the Singapore major with Thunder Predator, where they just completely stormed through the bracket. Maybe here he can show us something here. The sample size is small, but this is one of the biggest carry players in SA for sure.
It's definitely like when you put them all together, this is a star-studded lineup. But to be fair, I mean, Plasma, they've got some good names on them as well. Nothing as big as Invaders, but still, right? These are players that have been around the at least tier 2 scene for a very long time and have been sticking together in some ways or another for, you know, a few different seasons, right? Kiri and Prada have been together for a while. Adrian's had different formings on different teams with these players before as well. So there is a little bit of familiarity, a lot of bit of familiarity between these Plasma heroes or players even.
Yeah, I think the main thing for me is Prada, right? Some of you might recognize him under the name Shesid. I never knew how to pronounce it. Shesid.
Yeah, something like that. I have no idea.
But whatever, you know. But I think what stands out to me is that you know, when you talk about these regions that need a little bit more infrastructure, Southeast Asia, SA for instance, you always talk about the lack of captains, right? And Stinger, of course, in his own right, he's risen up to become a captain that has proven that he can compete on an international stage. Prada, you know, he's been around for quite a while as a player, right?
Yeah.
Ever since early 2015. He has largely been the captain, position 5, never went through any really crazy role swaps. So probably brings a great deal of experience here on his end as well. And that's probably fueling the team now. This lineup, though, for Plasma feels super high execution as compared to what Invaders have, which is what is concerning me just a bit.
Yeah, you need to be landing your you need to be landing at least a one-man black hole. You need to be getting these Dawnbreaker ultimates off, big Wukongs, lots of damage from Kiri. I think Kiri is kind of the hero that I'm going to be watching a lot of, because I think this Bowrider kind of needs to supplement a lot of this early game damage, especially if Robo-Z doesn't get off to a good lane, which against a Kunkka, it should be fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, heaven forbid things go wrong in the mid lane. He gets ganged 3 or 4 times by, like, Lion Chen. Yeah. Things could start going wrong, and it's going to be up to Kiri to kind of step up and make their way through this early game, which might be tough for Plasma.
Yeah. The one sort of milestone that I'll be looking at, speaking of the Bat Rider, is I want to see where Prada and Kiri choose to establish early vision. We know for a fact that both Sven and Luna love to farm those triangle stacks, love to get their net worth up that way and power farm. I think both teams are also equipped to invade these areas. So that'll be a key factor. You know, you got Monkey King jumping around the tree line. You got a Primal Beast charging in from nowhere with the Chen creeps backing him up. You know, those are the engagements that I'll be looking for to see which team can really cement themselves an early game advantage.
My goodness. I get baited every time, dude.
Wouldn't be a SA game without a good old pause to calm the nerves. Actually, I don't really know what it is. I don't know enough SA players to know, you know, if, you know, for example, for China, I know that they gotta have their pre-game smoke. That's
okay.
That's some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I bet there's something. I mean, every player has their thing, but I think teams probably have maybe a motivational speaking from their coach.
Sure.
You know, could be
whoever he may be. You know, I'm sure we do that for Lava, right? We would know.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, we do that exactly.
By the way, guys, in case you guys didn't know, we're the co-coaches for Lava. I know we don't look it, but you're just gonna have to trust us on that one.
It's a bad joke. That is a joke, but it is a bad joke. But that is for sure a joke. We are indeed not.
Damn, you just kind of ruined the moment right there for me.
Yeah, but people might be like, oh, really? I didn't know that.
This is okay, but you guys don't know that this is our coaching dynamic. It's good cop, bad cop. You know, someone always has to be Y'all know how it is. You've had teachers.
It's
you know what I
very
mean?
important. Someone's got to be the bad cop, you know,
Yeah,
because
and-
it makes a good cop look better, and someone's got to
Yeah.
do it. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make you look better, Sneeze.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you've said to me throughout our.
Trust me, it's very hard, but
Okay.
I'm doing a good job, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like both teams are skirting around each other here. No real
Ooh.
crazy attempts being made. Of course, this is the lower bracket finals. You want to sort of claw your way to the grand finals to face off against Los Motes. And I dare say, this is perhaps the most even top 3 that we've had, right? It's not like,
Yes.
you know, either one of these teams goes there and it's, oh, you know, Los Motes is going to sweep. Yeah, I think each one of these contenders stand a good chance.
Maybe. Los Motos has already faced both of these teams
Okay.
and beat both of them
Yeah.
previously. So it's not, but Plasma were able to take one game off Los Motos, where Invaders were not.
Okay.
So maybe a little bit of advantage for Plasma, but yeah, they're close enough skill wise where I think anything can happen. The Invaders game wasn't too one sided. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't too one sided.
Well, I mean, I think the factor about the captains that I mentioned is really going to come into play in these instances because it's all about adapting, right? And these two, Stinger and Prada, they're going to show their longevity by just proving to us how well they can shape up and face off against their opponents given like one additional day of preparation. Because you know these guys, they've got to be sort of not just preparing for one match, right? Probably thinking about, okay, when we make it to the Grands, how are we going to operate? Because the last thing you want is to play this slog of a best of 3 and perhaps have it go the distance only to just kind of cower out of the Grand Finals. That would be very sad.
I think it's very important to not be... Oh, top lane. The hell?
They just
I
did
guess
the thing
just a
where they
flame
used their
break.
spells. Yeah, I was a
yeah.
little bit worried about Stinger because he was just standing there with level 1 Divine Favor, like trying to heal up like quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit of a... It's not necessarily the wrong build, but it does leave you susceptible to these kind of moves.
It does. The one thing earlier is you need to be prepared but not expecting. Right? You can't go into a game expecting to just make it to the grand finals.
You know, I don't know how much that expectation is gonna linger if they continue to just get roasted up here in this top side. Kiri puts on a lot of pressure onto Kotaro, but with the Firefly ending and the auto attack pressure from Stinger, they'll have to back up. And you know, we talk about the mids. Somehow, alone, he's kind of gapping the Monkey King, even if it's by a little bit. I think he double raised him really early on. In comes Michael, level 2 gank. Just enough mana for a spike and perfect execution. Invaders completely trample over that Monkey King.
That was so cool. Right? Robose, he's gonna be playing these high grounds. Just call in a TP. You don't need to walk to the mid lane. I know it's crazy. Supports, they always walk, but no, you can just TP like that. What a cool play from Invaders.
Yeah, and that was so telegraphed from the start because he TPs right at the moment where Sacred has his power pushed in, which means he's under no threat of dying. Now, Michael might be a different story, especially the tag team stunts from Prada and Shido. But we'll be able to walk it off. Just not enough levels in those abilities to really pressure down the Lion. Oh man, this is so bloody annoying, man.
The mana drain or just Lion in general?
Both. I think we can say.
Okay. And there's a reason he's like one of the most picked heroes right now in games of the future.
Yeah.
Lion sees play almost every game.
No, yeah, no surprise. I'm surprised he's not just. I'm surprised he's seeing play at all. And not
Yeah,
just
I'm surprised
out
he's
in the
not being
first
banned.
ball, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe people think they can deal with him. And I mean, with the amount of collapse that Plasma have this game, you know, even if you stand there, mana drain, magic immune, it might not necessarily help you out. You're still gonna die.
Yeah, there's still big physical damage coming out from Plasma's cores.
Yeah. Put the boxing gloves on, really knock you out in one shot. That's kind of the Plasma lineup in a nutshell.
That's where like the Wraith Bands or the Plate Mail or even just that level 15 talent comes in handy. Right? Start racking up those finger kills and all of a sudden you're at 2000 HP at 25-30 minutes.
I love that you embrace the meme. Man even name dropped the plate mail. That's hilarious.
I've done it a few times and it feels kind of good.
Okay, you're deranged. Bot side, Shido, no mana. Just gonna get trampled down. Still has a pretty decently sized stick though, so should be able to walk that one off as Michael and Sacred, with these levels, starting to really apply the pressure. Just a bit unfortunate because he actually sentry warded this camp, but misses out on a very cute placement from Prada. Oh, top side.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Luna
steal that one.
getting fried up here. Kotaro. That's kind of one of the downsides of the Chen. There's nothing much you can do as a hero unless you have a creep to stop this aggression from Kiri. And through the hammer flames and the fire, they just burn your Luna up.
Dawnbreaker is such a strong laner. Really, the only thing that slows her down is her mana pool.
Yeah.
And when you lane against a Luna Chen, these heroes that kind of use their abilities quite frequently,
Yeah.
getting a wand, getting a stick early is so incredibly valuable. Especially when you want something like a Soul Ring.
Yeah, just missing a kill out on the Sven there. Probably just another rinse and repeat using the spells Trample and the Slow Down. Not much the safe laners can really do in this situation. They're doing well in terms of the CS, but they, you know, you don't want to be dying here. You want to sort of be comfortable in the lane, move slowly into the jungle instead of being forced in.
Are fortified.
The pressure will continue here.
I mean, who do you think jungle's better early, Sven or Luna?
It's
gotta be Sven, right?
It's gotta be Sven. I mean, it always just depends, right? Because these heroes, they're only as efficient as their levels in their farming spells.
Yeah.
It's just how much can Shido get out of this lane in terms of EXP before he feels pressured out of here. It's still relatively a great cleave. Oh, mid lane. Was this another TP in?
Yep.
Alone.
Looks like.
Doesn't even need the level 6. They are looking like a clinic in this mid lane. Meanwhile, burning up. Kotaro trying to get the return kill. Nice Lucent Beam, and Kiri will finally get punished
Clearly not your
for his
best.
aggressive maneuver. Looks like Michael's running up here as well. Probably spotted out by this ward though. Dawnbreaker should be able to sneak away out of here, Adrian. Unless you show on the way. Okay. Stun.
Interesting.
Started being chased. Maybe just thinking that, you know, I'm a bit too thick for them to deal with, and he's absolutely right. Mid lane though, action just non-stopping. Level 6 straight in. Robo Z is able to walk this one off, but comes straight back into the lane to suffer. Now Alone is gonna try chasing him down though, but oh, you could just get the Tidebringer. Stuns up, as Robo Z can't do anything but just run and flee for the hills. There are 3 members of... Okay, this has gotten very awkward now as Michael's the one to overcommit. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a full party. 5 members just butting heads here in the most awkward way possible. And it seems like Alone still wants to go fishing with his Tidebringer, with 1 X-Marks, but he doesn't really have a lot of mana, doesn't even have a stick on him. Starting to get slowed down now, Robo Z, it's 3 levels in the Jingu. Suddenly he has the damage, and Alone, he might have just overcommitted unless Face Boots just walks it off. What?
Oh my god.
What's happening?
What was that? Like a double, what was that? Michael stands under tower, takes 3 tower shots to get a little bit of extra mana drain off,
What?
dies for it, and then Alone walks back in to get a single Tidebringer off and almost feeds his life away to a lane that he has dominated so far.
Yeah, I mean,
What
he
the
survives
hell?
there, but doesn't look like Stinger will be quite as lucky. Like you mentioned, the lethality of this duo has to be studied by scholars. Coming through with the Dawnbreaker ultimate, but a preemptive cancel Alone. He's being run down right now. The control that he's had over this early game eroded slightly. It hasn't resulted in his death just yet, but Kiri threatened to be chased down. Has a nice flame break, but yeah, I mean, just with the wind lace as well as the boots, the torrent won't catch him. And this is a classic Kiri plays right here, just wasting the goddamn time of his opponents. As we look off screen though, I believe it was Adrian who got worked down by a returning Luna. Oh my goodness, are you...
Oh.
Oh,
This is so much space from Kiri though. This is so good.
This is the
I
dumbest shit I've
love
seen in
Kiri,
my life.
man. Like that's 2 cores off the map following you.
Yeah.
That is so big.
Alone does have some bounties to refill his bottle on, so it's not
Sure.
too bad that he can come back into the lane, but this is a lot of much needed space for Robo Z just to even out that score. And would you look at that? CS-wise, even though Kotaro is the one in the lead, the cores on the side of Plasma are keeping stable and catching up a little bit. All these rotations from Sacred have cost him in the way of the net worth, even if it's just by a bit.
That's fair. I mean, Primal Beast isn't the easiest hero to rotate on, right? Or to rotate with, rather. You kind of have to get a kill when you use all of your abilities. Especially when you're not level 6. It's so hard to stay on top of heroes, like we saw with Kiri there, right? Kiri just runs away without even using any movement speed abilities.
Well,
Oh my
that was
god,
easy.
Shido. Yeah.
Instantly pings out the wall though. But yeah, I think this is what we were mentioning. You want to invade these earlier areas. Kotaro being run down right now, but Kiri, he doesn't have the HP to operate with. The rest of the defending members of Plasma come through though. They want to chase down Kotaro. The move speed, is it enough? Prada was there to clean up, should it not? And now, uh-oh, the supports. They look to be in trouble. A cute little net from one of the creeps from Stinger, but this Chen hasn't really had the early game dominance they would have asked for. Gonna come through with a double stomp, no, just catching Robo Z, but easy for them to chase through the tree lines, and looks like this top tier 1 tower is forfeit from the side of Invaders.
And that's one of the problems with picking Chen Luna that we didn't necessarily mention during the draft is, you know, you mentioned it early on in the game where Chen just kind of can't do anything as Luna gets dove, right? And that's the case once again. Chen just kind of not doing anything right now, and that's the big problem. Despite not being able to do anything, Kotaro is incredibly farmed.
Yeah. And that's just the Kotaro effect, right? This man knows how to hit those creeps. Now,
Yeah.
I will say though that I think that leaves Stinger in a bit of an awkward position where he doesn't really have a lane to play in anymore. He's gonna have to rely on trying to make some of these rotations. Michael swings on up here, going straight onto Adrian. They don't have a finger of death, but should still be able to walk down the Dawnbreaker. One last eclipse. Don't tell me the hammer slow was enough.
I
Actually
guess
stops
it was,
Kotaro,
yeah.
my lord, and Adrian's gonna dilly-dally his way out of there.
The old runaway strategy, very hard to deal with, I hear.
There's an Adrian classic right there. The walk away with his legs type beat. That's a had the phase boots to work in his favor as well, just widening that move speed advantage. This is
So far, Phase Boots MVP, dude.
true, yeah, across multiple areas on the map. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had a phase boots, you might have been able to not make Kiri waste 30 seconds of your life. But now he's gonna potentially put you in the grave for 30 with Sacred. In some trouble, nice onslaught away. Robo Z still holding onto that boundless. It's a nice stun. It's only onto one, but he can turn around with the pulverized Prada. He's waiting in the wings of a black hole though, just biding his time, hoping for an overcommitment. Both teams recognizing the strength of those unused ultimates will back up.
A little bit of jumping the gun a little bit from Adrian. He tried his best there. It's hard when there's no initial lockdown for you as the Dawnbreaker. Because, you know, like we just talked about, the old runaway strategy is very effective against the Solar Guardian. It's also effective as the ally team can also just run away from it and it not do anything. It is a very scary ultimate, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I think they must have caught a glimpse of Prada just angling up here on this high ground, because last thing you want is to give him a beautiful black hole on the silver platter. It's always these early game black holes that I think you talked about before, similar to a Solar Guardian. You just kind of want to throw them out when you can, right? You want to just get value out of that cooldown, and you know, you're not. It's supposed to get like maybe one pick off, not like 4 members at like 11 minutes. That's
And no
not
one's
how-
expecting that, right?
Yeah, no, so what I'm saying is that, you know, that could have very much been the case if they all just decided, hey, you know,
Yeah.
let's just walk up to this high ground where we have no vision, and all right, see you in the grand finals, Plasma. Is that situation?
Yeah, pretty much. But that's the threat of Black Hole. That's going to be very apparent throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
There's going to be no point, well, unless it's on cooldown, that Invaders are like, hey, Black Hole, you know, I'm going to run into that all willy-nilly. Yeah, that should never happen.
And on paper, they have the type of draft that can avoid it, right? Realistically speaking, no one in their right mind should be standing next to or nearby Kotaro. The 2 other cores have their own way of approaching the fight, one from a significant distance and one just right in the thick of things. So Prada, he's gonna have his work cut out for him to find a good option in terms of the black hole. The last thing you want is it being cancelled as well. And I mean, he's building a drums now, but later on in the game, we wouldn't be too surprised to see a 2nd or 3rd item BKB, even ahead of the blink, right? Just because you want to be able to pop that out without being interrupted by the vast number of stuns each of these heroes have.
I like the BKB before Blink quite a bit. It is a little bit of a bigger, greedier build-up. But once again, you're a position 5. It's not like Enigma necessarily needs items.
Yeah.
It's just get whatever you want. You're a position 5, just buy the wards, right? That's all that we're really asking of you. Buy the wards and buy the smoke. Whatever you want to buy for yourself, sure.
Actually, maybe
Just get at
you
least
want
one support item.
I mean, I understand the drums, right? Because they want to
Sure.
tank up for this eventual Luna timing that's going to come through. And it almost feels like as long as Plasma can survive that, they should have a decent time in the late
Dire's
game.
turret
Now,
has
Invaders
been
heroes
destroyed.
don't necessarily fall off, but scaling-wise, Plasma looks much scarier.
Oh, absolutely. They have 3 run at you, hit you cores. Luna doesn't like run at you, hit you cores, right? She does not like to be surrounded by 3 heroes, and every single single hero on Plasma have a way of jumping on top of this Luna, right? Sven with either the Blink Dagger or the Ags. Enigma can just run at you with drums. Solar Guardian, obviously. Monkey King Primal Spring. It's just there's so many easy ways to get on top of this Luna that it's going to be hard for Katara to kind of stand and fight. Finding the positions are going to be incredibly important for Luna in these fights, for sure.
Yeah, you kind of need to hope that Chen has managed to farm up significant enough auras, but now it's just the Vlads, which will help out a great deal and might be the reason why Invaders are smoking right now. No, it's actually the big reveal from Michael. Straight out of the Kiri and fingered to death. Doesn't stand a chance here up in this top side. They're looking for more. I'd love to get their hands on Adrian, who has that Vlad's complete.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Torrent, can you find it? Gives the vision for the X-Mark. Great gets from alone. They'll even vote just to hold him in place. They're not too scared about committing these ultimates because they understand that each of these pickoffs just opens up the map for them to work. They'll just make quick work of not only the Dawnbreaker, but likely this tier 1 top as well.
Radiant's top tower
Big kill on
is under
Dawnbreaker, right?
attack.
She is significantly further ahead than every other core on her team. Right, 500 above the Sven at this point is pretty scary for a Dawnbreaker. If she can get ahead, she can do a lot of damage depending on what build she goes for.
Yeah. I mean, immediate counter smoke from Plasma, understanding that some of these abilities were used and the side of Invaders might just be backing up to some peaceful
Radiant
farming
are
time.
scared.
Kikaro, I kind of feel like he's been able to largely... Oh no. Oh no, the tail end of that scan. They're gonna know he's there. And look at where the rest of Invaders are postured. They had no position to help this Luna out. This looks to be a bit of a return kill. And the much bigger one at that. Robo-Z will come through with the ult, but it's actually only 2 heroes. They turn around, Dawnbreaker ult comes through. They'll finally lasso her down and work through the Luna. Black hole on the sideline straight onto Michael. Sacred will come through and at least claim up a support as a return. The rest of the side of Invaders want to stand their ground and fight, but I'm just wondering if they have the gas in the tank. Sacred, he's able to get a double kill with that extended damage thanks to the uproar. But now, okay, Stinger, he's bringing in the creeps, but they will just eat the hammer alongside him. Alone has finally showed up into the fray. They should be able to punish Adrian. He's pretty tanky, actually. Tidal Wave, if he can get another hammer swing off, they might be in trouble. Up to the high ground, can't face off against Alone's Blade Mail though. Sacred narrowly surviving in that situation. As Alone, he's not done yet. Another TP, interrupt? No. Tidal Wave can't stop it. And Alone will have to watch the Enigma survive, but that ends up being pretty insane in terms of how that all played out for Plasma. It looked like they were going to get away with murder, and then they just kind of got caught. But the Sven's just farming through it all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the important part. Luna's farm was interrupted, Sven's was not. And right now, Sven needs to do a lot of recovering. No stacks either for Shido. This is kind of what we were looking for, right? With the Enigma. Go back and stack. Even Kiri on the Bat Rider. Bat Rider loves stacks. I don't know why no one on the side of Plasma have been making stacks for literally anyone on their team. Dawnbreaker, Bat Rider, Sven, who cares?
I mean, it's just kind of feel like they've been a little preoccupied, if you ask me. Like, the way that they're moving on the map, just trying to respond, you know, answering to some of the moves that perhaps Invaders are making, or maybe feeling pressured to make the moves really deep. This economy hasn't really been their priority, but that might prove to bite them mid lane. Robo-Z shows his face. It's a very nice mischief dodge on the Ghost Ship. Gonna turn around with that Wukong's command as well, trying to beat down onto Stinger with that defusal, but he doesn't have enough damage at this stage for it to be meaningful. Meanwhile, Prada gets killed off by the Sacred and Michael duo. Invaders, they're just striking on multiple areas on the map. Adrian fished into the whole lineup as well. And you're at the point, Plasma, where I can't help but feel like you're starting to bleed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you hear that in the distance, Sneeze, but that is Luna starting to rev up.
Radiant's middle tower.
Oh yeah, you
is
might have
under
to
attack.
open up. Yeah, turn
Yeah,
up the
yeah, I
volume a
gotta
little bit
just
more
make sure
because
my sound's
Luna.
Right, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. There it
I
is. There
heard
it is. This isn't gonna stop for a little bit, right? Once you get the pike, I think it's time to go for Kataro.
Oh,
Mask of Madness, Manta, Pike. It should be good enough now, really.
yeah, I don't think he's in any hesitation about getting things going. It's just whether he's connecting with the team, and you know, right now lacking a bit on the mana department. I'm sure, you know, Stinger wishes he had the recall ability on Kotal at this point, just to bring your carry out. Like, come on, we got a tier 2 tower up here, man.
Yeah, because even if you're low on mana, that's what Alliance for. You have your own personal little mana bitch.
Yeah, damn. True, it's real though. Like, that's all he really is.
It is. No, it is.
Other
right?
than the most
Here he
oppressive
comes.
goddamn post-boy hero in the game.
Radiant's middle tower
Oh, this
is
is
under
Coming right
attack.
now, mana
you need a-
service.
Dude, they are not a mana service, more like a murder service. In comes Sacred and Shido. He doesn't have any help, Prada. You have that, I mean, Black Hole, but you might just have to turn around and sacrifice your life. I don't think it's going to be enough to get Shido out of here. They're still starting to chase out. Meanwhile, mid lane, they've hunted down RoboZ again. The monkey can't even survive on his own side of the map. Sacred, with that blink, still looking for Shido. They hear the onslaught and they don't know where he's coming, but clearly it's not in the right direction. As Invaders, they continue to lose heroes around the map. This is kind of what I was scared about. At this timing in the game, do you have enough to stand together against Invaders? For now, the answer seems to be no.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And despite building up all these auras too, right? You have Vlad's on Dawn, you have Drums on your Enigma, but it's just, and you even have Mage Slayer on Dawnbreaker now too, but it's all amounting to nothing. Maybe now with the Kiri Blink Dagger, you're going to start finding pickoffs on the side of Plasma, but that's the only thing you can play for. But in Invaders, they shouldn't be split up around the map.
Yeah, I think my main concern is the only two damage dealers are both Adrian as well as RoboZ allegedly. Wow, Michael. That's a bit too deep. The rest of the team can't really follow up, and they actually use the lasso to commit for that lion kill. Wipe out quite a few of the Chen creeps as well. So Stinger, he's gonna have to regroup and immediate smoke out. They know they still have the black hole, but that's why Sacred has just completely blinked away back to safety. Still gonna hunt through though. And Watcher might give him a bit of a false sense of security. In comes RoboZ, looking for onslaught out of here. No, not in time. The Boundless, and now he's starting to run away. Pop the blade mail open. Adrian coming through with the hammer, all are healed, and turn around the Eclipse. Luna starting to do a significant amount of damage to Glaives, just rip the Monkey King apart. Alone now, has his eyes set on Adrian, the Solar Guardian coming through on the Shido, but they just can't kill the Luna. Finger of Death down, and now controlled up is Shido. Kiri, no more ultimate, he can't do a thing. Prada, he might just throw in the black hole into nothing. You just suck yourself straight into the ground out of embarrassment. A huge, awful fight for the side of Plasma as ultimate after ultimate just gets completely shafted. First it was the Wukong's amounting to nothing, the God Strength getting fully controlled, and the cherry on top of the cake, the death black hole. Come on,
Don't forget
Invaders.
the Solar Guardian.
I didn't even want to talk about that. That's Dawnbreaker's a girl, man. I wasn't gonna disrespect her like that, but you know, since you bring it up, man, that was the Team Plasma looking a little pathetic right now. I won't lie.
Oof, dude, that's harsh. Holy. You're kind of right, though. These big team fight ultimates, we said they needed to land them, and Plasma aren't. They just simply aren't. There seems to be a big disconnect. To be fair, there's a little bit of a disconnect from Invaders as well.
Yeah.
As Stinger's just kind of sitting mid alone.
He has a Lads as well as the Drums and a 4-star, actually making them work for it at least for a little bit. But meanwhile, dude, it doesn't even matter. Stinger's just laughing.
Yeah.
This is classic. This is what he just feeds, but it doesn't matter because the team is doing all this shit on the map. Look at Sacred now, setting up on the Adrian, and you don't have a hammer to get yourself out of it. Taro, he's just doing so much damage. Sven's gonna come through, but you have a Godstring and the BKB, but not a way to close the gap. And yeah, Kiri understands the rest of the side of Invaders coming through. Uh-oh, Shido showing himself. Oh, they'll pull product to the high ground. Easy setup. That Enigma is dead.
This Enigma into Lion matchup is quite difficult too. Because if you take a look, even at level 12, Enigma only has 1,000 mana. It takes 400 mana to Black Hole.
Yeah.
Lion sucks that away in an instant.
Yeah, I didn't even think to mention that. That's completely right. As soon as... And you're not... Look, you have a blink now, but with the amount of map control and vision control that Invaders have, especially the Chen creeps just running in brazenly and giving their lives, Sasageo type beat, you know, he can just pop that on you with the shard. And Teamfight Ultimate's landing is one thing, having the mana to even cast them is another, and you're dealing with both problems. Like, pick a struggle, brother.
I just had a realization, Sneeze, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're more down with the youngsters than I am.
Damn, what the hell?
Is that where Brazy came from? Brazenly?
By the way, you're literally younger than me, so I
Yeah,
don't know
okay,
what
shut the fuck shut up.
Okay, well, I don't know, I just say it because it sounds cool,
Okay.
but now they're gonna make the goal onto Alone with their Hand of God, still not enough. It's really the only thing Plasma can play for, bursting you down 100 to 0 before Invaders can respond, and they might have just found their opening now. Michael, in a teensy-weensy bit of a bother as well, but can turn around on this very convenient highway, and Spike, oh, Sacred, no fear, just charging in with the power item, interrupting with the stun. They buy back on Alone, actually, they want to fight, just whipping Robozy up hard! Kutaro, the solo black hole, but Cheeto needs to get the touches immediately, but you're not doing enough damage! Luna's just gonna rip you to shreds, denying Raw is the best way to say it, as Plasma just get completely splattered like blood on the ground.
And that's another fight where you've used all of your big ultimates. There's nothing stopping Invaders. They're scooting on into Roshan. They're going for this Aegis, and there's literally nothing that Plasma can do to stop them unless Kiri goes for some crazy Aegis snatch.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like by the time Plasma got going and tried to contest this Luna, it was way too late. She just consistently was one item, one level, one step above the opposition in terms of significance. They used their teamfight ultimate so much on her, even in that sort of pick-off in the bot side, and it still resulted in them ultimately losing the fight. And throughout it all, even with the deaths, even with the pressure, Kotaro's just been able to farm. He is 7k gold ahead of his counterpart in the spend. It wasn't even the stacks, it was just pure efficiency. And Invaders,
Yeah.
they are... We talked about the ease of execution. This is as simple can be. Chen Luna, aura up. It's time to go, go, go.
Radiant's
And they've got Ags on Kunkka now too. There's literally nothing that's stopping Invaders from going, like you said.
Yeah. We'll go it up to the high ground.
Might as well be a BOGO go.
Vision, pulverized. Where's your black hole? Hiding in the bag, not even off cooldown just yet. Huey dies in his own lair, so this is
that's it.
certain. I don't really see how you come back into the game. You'll buy back. GG's called,
don't.
brother. He knows the game is lost when he sees it. And 25 minutes is all it takes for Invaders to completely dismantle Plasma here. It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't. Invaders, they nailed every single timing perfectly, right? It was run around, make space for Luna. We only have to do it for a little bit. She's one of those beautiful carries where, you know, unlike an AM, you only need to make space for like 20 minutes. She comes online. She has complete free farm. It's time to run at you. And they did it even before the 20-minute mark because of how online Luna was, how far ahead Kotaro was. There was no stopping point for this Luna.
And I gotta ask you, because
Okay.
my understanding, okay, that it's not like, you know, Invaders, they stack triangle like 2 or 3 times. Okay, cool, you know, nice little thing for Kotaro to go back to. But my memory is that Luna wasn't doing too well in the lane, right? Like they were being pressured a lot, the lane was being pushed into the tower, Dawnbreaker was finding some kills here, you know, it wasn't the most comfortable. Tell me why, from the minute 5 mark, Luna just continues to ramp and ramp and ramp, and how does that even happen?
I legitimately could. I noticed that around 10 minutes, Luna was significantly higher than Sven, but I couldn't have like pinpointed exactly why. I legitimately have no idea where Kotaro found all this farm because it seemed like it came out of nowhere.
Look, I'll do all you budding carry players a favor. You can copy this match ID instantaneously if you want to study optimal Luna farming patterns, because Kotaro, he was all over it, right? We blinked and we missed it, and he popped out with a couple of items, probably caught Plasma by surprise as well. They were thinking, you know, we had a decent time at the start. How come this Luna is just clocking us like this? And it just feels like they didn't really set up for Shido. And when you last pick a Monkey King and it gets clapped in lane, sure, you can make the excuse that the Lion TP'd in, whatever. You're supposed to be the one having the advantage with that last pick. So Plasma kind of need to go back to the drawing board, figure out how exactly they want to move their strategy into game number 2. Because if I know one thing about this Invaders lineup, they're just going to run the same strat. that they won with
Yeah,
the past three
there's
games.
no reason for them
Good turn.
not to. Yeah,
Absolutely not.
just do it again.
Stinger
And,
trying to hold
maybe they
on.
will. We'll find
Sladen
out
will
after a
eventually
short
die
break
as onto a
here comes
lone.
the
They
Slow
turn that
Dragon
as the
Final
big
to
kill
find
you
out
can
who
get
faces off
as the
against
Invoker.
Baltimore.
Gonna what?
Get the kill, guys. What?
What? They're just
What's
gonna ignore him,
happening?
and they will cold snap Jim Park. What is going on? Axel at least gets the kill on top of the what? What?
Oh my god.
Snake here says alone. A bit of dissimulate sitting onto the Invoker. C-Smile will dodge the EMP. Does have another Aether Remnant. Resonant Pulse available. In goes the Sunstrike. A kill from Invaders. Actually, there's a huge fight on bottom. Axel coming around the bend. They still lose out on Slade. And can they turn out on to Kotaro? Out comes Michael. The position for
Where's
Doom.
Michael?
He's just zoning them out right now. Axel with 0 mana. He's just gonna get the right clicker. And Kotaro will go down. Yeah, and that is what we thought. The laning stage is definitely going to be going for Invaders as one by one. It's a return kill coming out from the boys. Beautiful blood grenade onto Michael and Gotar, but I don't think they can kill the sniper, but they might as well try. In with a Pit of Malice. They get the control on to the sniper. Another right click is going to be enough, and Sladen will get. It's Alone and Michael coming out with the gank. Onto Jim Park they go with a cold snap, and they lock him down. The Mortimer's Kiss is coming through. The damage is a lot to deal with. As in comes Stinger as well. They sit on Jim Park with the play. Pit of Malice coming through from Devil. Can he even get Sacred is the question. As C-Smile finishes off the Grandma.
Why not you?
Devil
Can they
with the
go for
turnaround.
Stinger? I think Stinger is.
Astral Step is
guess.
available.
Guy, nice guess.
Find them. In with the Remnant. No, it's actually going to hit Roshan. It's the wrong direction, C-Smile. It's the other way. As on to Stinger he goes with the Resonant Pulse. Out comes the Snowball. A lot of time, but another Astral Step should be enough. Oh, not really a key, but a Tusk indeed as Axel. Gotta get Scorched Earth, Scatter Blasted as well. The Mana Shield is holding on pretty well. I wouldn't say unkillable. To be honest with you, AZ was stacked back up with the Magic Wand. Michael. Gonna need to run, but in comes C-Smile again. Does not get the render, but a beautiful Telekinesis will save it. Ice Shards coming through with a Snowball save. And here's Devil with a Pit of Malice, sending the Grandma to hell as Alone with his Invoker will pause the Tusk disconnect. Whatchamacallit. Strength. C-Smile. Gonna be pulled into the thick of it. Eventually his HP should be gone, but a nice turnaround coming out from Jim Park. With the Stormhammer and the Pit of Malice, they will doom the Doom. Or will they? Oh no, the cleave is a bit too strong from Jim Park. As onto Alone they move. Pit of Malice onto the Invoker. C-Smile. And Sladen set this up as out comes the artillery. Here come the kisses and the abysses as Devil. Gonna get locked on. The two supports are just gonna attack team down. Well, let's
Smoke up.
see
Okay, they might want to try. If they get the sniper, that's huge. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if they get the sniper,
and
that's
they
huge.
go on to Kotaro as MNZ loses all their mana, gets Astral Step raised into the sky, and
Well, it's just too tanky, isn't it?
gotta put out the Pit of Malice as in comes the Doom as well as the Cold Snap. And you were saying? Interesting. Qatar not gonna punish it. They're just gonna evade them as much as possible. Nice break. Onto the smokes, but he's gonna get dumpstered. He throws out the shrapnels. Maybe he was actually bait himself as in they go with Axel on a Stinger. They just get the Tusk stuck, but they're actually more interested in the cores. As the Invoker dies, Kotaro is all alone. Michael coming around the vent trying to help out in with the cookie, but Axel on the other side slowing down the sniper. Kotaro eventually gonna go down as the Mortimer's Kiss does nothing. Stopped by the Stormhammer. They're gonna cut her down as well.
Okay, they
and
find
they
out.
go with a Walrus Punch. They find Axel. And Axel God, Axel bad. It doesn't really matter as with the Stone Gaze. He's kind of shaking off the enemy in with the rotation. God Strength onto the play as the Sven sets up the kill and onto Alone they want to go. Kotaro a little too far in this fight. No detection available on the players. They find Sacred as they make a connection. There is an opportunity for a cookie as C-Smile jumping on forward. They're looking for Kotaro as out comes the Doom onto Jim Park. as far as I can tell, but Michael will die one by one. They walk in on to the Sven, and the little shredder and all that damage will proc through. A C-Smile tried to jump onto Kotaro, but without avail. The sniper doesn't back out, and Devil almost dying for this. Or somersault due to the stun. Stinger gonna get caught out. Tornado onto one of them. As C-Smile makes the connection. Deafening blast, but in with the harpoon play. Jim Park gonna get stuck. He's gonna move forward with the BKB. As jump forward coming out from the cookie. Sladen though, he's a little low. In with a jump onto Kotaro. As the remnant, this time it will hit and it will break the Aegis. Back, turn onto Sacred. They will get the Grandma as well. No casualties so far on Lost Notice. Can they push a little bit more? And they will find Kotaro. Stun him up. Control him, but it's a beautiful tornado from Alone. They will still let the sniper go, as Alone is absolutely not alone, because Michael is just right there, but why not just get the Doom?
Is something that you should be avoiding.
Orchid play onto the Void. As Alone dodges out the tornado, here comes Axel, procking through with that phylactery. The kill is there! C-Smile moves out with the remnant. It doesn't hit, but it will still get a kill. Sunstrike onto Axel.
He's pretty tanky though. He's just
trying to
tanky.
hold on just a little bit. Beautiful Stone Gaze coming through as Devil comes in with the Pit of Malice. We'll try and get the reveal play as the Doom actually landing on Devil. Axel still holding on in this fight as Sladen along with Krista coming through with the play. They did get Michael. They might lose Devil as the Assassinate goes out onto the Underlord. Great play onto Stinger. Gets that kill, but Kotaro, he's just the unreachable goal right now as the snowball coming through. Kotaro needs to run. He will get the hell out of there. A bit of a pull with the shrapnel as C-Smile trying to connect into this fight. Or maybe C-Smile and Jim Park setting up the play. On to Kotaro they go. Instant disappearance act on the sniper. 90 seconds without their carry as Invaders. As the first tier 2 tower on the side of Invaders finally falls.
Catches Sacred. Forcing
Moving
the
on,
BKB.
C-Smile forcing out the issue as Jim Park is in the air. Gonna get the meatball treatment along with a little shredder. Doom down. That is the end of the Sven. As the Doomed Sacred play, they are gonna look for a turnaround. C-Smile, that is huge. Trying to force out the BKB from the sniper as Alone could eventually die here if they find him. As Axel from the other side will get the Stone Gaze play with the Mystic Flare. Battles, Scatterblast straight up onto the Grandma as another Mystic Snake is gonna take care of Sacred right here.
Axel, he's just, pressing W, doing nothing. Oh,
Sunstrike almost catching out C-Smile, but now he's gonna be comfortably TPing home. But C-Smile should be fine.
Yeah, that's...
As Axel, they're gonna try and dodge out from the shrapnels. As C-Smile diving in forward with the BKB, but the Doom eventually landing onto the Void Spirit. In with the Stone Gaze, trying to cut them down as C-Smile's in trouble, but they'll get Sacred first. A turnaround coming out from Jim Park, trying to reach Kotaro as C-Smile eventually will lose out. Devil with the Pit.
Got the sniper.
Behind on the Cypher, they will get Kotaro, they will get the kill, as now it's all about Alone. Can they get the control onto the Invoker as Stinger also gonna go down in the thick of the fight as Alone. Can they catch with some vision? No, they don't have detection.
Michael still being chased. Got the blink though, so he should be able to get it. What?
Slade then with the snowball control is Michael. His blink is gonna get broken, but I don't think Sladen is gonna survive this fight. He wants to try with the Glimmer. Okay, the Sunstrike will whiff. He still keeps up the contact with the snowball. Telekinesis inside the snowball as Michael. Oh, he just messed up now. He turned back one more time. Alone. Nice catch on to the Sven as that's gonna be the death of the Rogue Knight. Kotaro, you need to run, and you need to run right now. The Shiva's Guard. It's just at the very edge of his vision, but no catch onto the sniper. Devil. The random Sunstrike is just trying to find the enemy. I do believe Alone needs that Aghanims so that he can cast that Cataclysm. As onto Kotaro they move with a double astral step. Christuck, they can just turn back onto Kotaro, but with the Satanic, he's just healing up. With the Stone Gaze, he's gonna stun up the Sniper. Can they find enough damage on top of him? Yes, they can. As the Doom on Devil, it's hurting a lot, but Seasmile turning around with a Resonant Pulse, and he's just damaging down the enemy. As yes, Devil will die, but Alone and Kotaro are there along with Sacred, and Seasmile is doing it.
They just proved that they don't need the Sven.
Who's the Sven? There's no Sven this game. As
Devil
with the
knows it's
pit,
against Mario.
with the pit, in they come, Jim Park. He's gonna stir God Strength right into this play. Sladen. And of course, Seasmile, they need to go back into the fountain and come back instantly. I don't know if the Rubik will make it through the gate. Yes, he can. As they're just gonna insta-rush for the tier 4s now. Sacred buying back with the Mortimer's Kisses. As it's a huge stun coming out from Michael. In with a Sunstrike, trying to damage him down. In with the Meatball as well. Jim Park looking pretty low, but Alone, he's very low on the other hand as well. But no, the Invoker, he needs to find a good spell combination. He wants to put out the Tornado, but the stun coming out from the Mystic Snake is going to be enough. A Seasmile diving into the fountain will get the kill. And Sladen is absolutely not feeling bad about this. Seasmile almost with the Rampage will shut this series down 48-28 as Lost Modus are going to the grand finals of EPL World Series Season 9 of the Americas.
Or certain heroes, it really does matter, but it's more. This just proves that Dota is more like about the strategical aspect is where we should approach this game, not. Oh no!
Oh my god, it's too good, but no, it's not good enough at all. Oh wait, is it?
Dota or life itself is gonna be punishing you for your mistakes. I don't really like the karma of a word, but oh, there might be setting up this time. It's gonna be successful.
The battle begins.
So you were mentioning this Doom, but if I have to choose one lane, obviously mid is already out because it's gonna be just a boring stalemate. Oh, we might be having some action on bottom. With my story, because it's not those related. I was playing CSGO and
whole team fight lineup that Plasma were putting together. Kind of forgot that they need mana on those strength heroes.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it wasn't really a good look. 400 for Black Hole. That trade deal don't really work out now. Hoodwink can get going a lot faster.
Radiant
Short
team
ultimate
ban.
can break into sort of whatever shenanigan
team ban.
farming house that Invaders have put up for themselves. They ban out the Luna. I like these steps.
Yep. Lots of damage coming out individually from this Hoodwink. I really like it in the Chen as well because you just spread all the damage throughout all the right. There's always going to be something to bounce your Acorn off of in fights.
Oh,
If
yeah.
a hero's not
10
close
seconds
enough, there's
remaining.
probably a creep close to them. So Acorns will always be
5
bouncing. So
seconds
that's
remaining.
good for Plasma. They've got a little bit going their way with this Hoodwink pick. And to be fair, Kiri has been constantly been doing at least on par damage-wise with cores on this Hoodwink. If not, I remember 1 or 2 games where he overtook Adrian on damage. And that's the beauty of Hoodwink, right? This support just builds damage items and kills you.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Mage Slayer, we've been seeing some Maelstrom. I have a feeling that maybe this game it'll be the Maelstrom instead, just to help out clearing some of the Chen creeps. The Mage Slayer, the last thing you want is for it to not proc on a hero that's important, but it's bouncing around like what a Warpine Raider or some whatevs. They still go back for Adrian Dawnbreaker though, or at least that's what we're assuming for now. I feel like it's been a hot minute since we've seen some Dawnbreaker pos 5s, which was all the rage like what 1.5 seasons ago.
It's still possible, right? I've run a few games of it personally. I think it's fine. I think it's still playable. It kind of hurts because Solar Crest isn't as prevalent anymore, and you are a perfect Solar Crest builder.
True.
So you're in this weird like rush aghanims kind of like Solar Crest Ags, and Solar Crest feels meh. Aghanim Scepter, if it's a good Aghanims game, it's good. But other than that, you're kind of shoehorned in onto one build, and yeah, we're not even going to see the support Dawn. It's just going to go right. I mean, actually, we could still see the support Dawn.
Yeah.
Right? This could be a 3 Batrider for all we know, but most likely we're going to just back to the 3 Dawn. And this Hoodwink Dawnbreaker lane is really cool. It does a lot of damage, but there's one little like anti-synergy between the two heroes. And that's if Dawnbreaker Celestial hammers the tree, all of a sudden the hero that is stunned is no longer stunned.
Yeah, you got to be real careful with how you line those up on the Plasma side. And I mean, you talk about anti-synergy, the Batrider could burn down the Hoodwink tree that she's trying to set up on. So that could be tricky. Invaders, classic combo, Magnus PA, and you're worried about her getting busted down. You got to Chen with the auras, early Vlads, early drums, any little steroid the PA could want, you give it to him, and the techies picked up as well. Invaders, they don't even care that you ban out their Luna, their Lion. They had a B strategy prepared. We haven't even seen any of this from them so far.
This is like bold and beautiful, picking up this PA. Right, if you are going to go out, like if you're going to bring Plasma out in style, it's going to be off of arguably the worst hero in the game. You have to be feeling yourself to pick up this PA. And if Kotaro farms half as well as he farmed on the Luna, on the PA, it might just be curtains for Plasma.
Look, I'm going to be real. I am by no means a Plasma disrespecter. I feel like we've watched many of their games. We think they're a good lineup, right? They've shown sort of a lot of grit against, I guess, adversaries.
Sure.
This feels a bit like Invaders going, hey, challenge mode. Let's try and make this work.
Yeah.
Quick look at Cyberscore as well. This is a hero that MNZ likes, but hasn't really succeeded with. 45% win rate of 11 games. Not necessarily the performance that you want, but Invaders, they're kind of saying, look, we're going to set up a perfect draft, give PA all the environment and boosts and little tag teammates that she needs to succeed. Let's see whether this hero can work. They banned out the Slug as well, which would be really good up against her, as well as the Bloodseeker. So really covering all their bases here. Looks like they're missing a mid. Speaking of the mid though, the puck picked up for RoboZ.
I mean, you could just go right in for like something like a Void Spirit for Invaders, just directly counter the puck. Okay, they're gonna ban it, so never mind. Out of that.
Oh, Morphling. Okay.
Nice.
You like this?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Shido Morphling.
True, true. If you're gonna go out of the tournament, gotta give your boy his best hero, and he's the one drafting. Of course, he will give himself last pick Morphling.
Right, right. It fits so perfectly.
I mean, apart from it being a signature, talk to me a bit about why this Morphling is good this game. Do we see any sort of clear reasons why he's gone for it?
Bam, you ready for this? I'm gonna set up the perfect team fight for Plasma.
I'm listening.
Coil, turn into the Magnus, waveform forward, skewer them back.
Oh my god.
Break the coil, team fights one.
True. This is
turning into PA is really good as well. Right,
yeah.
Same thing. You just do like Dagger's really nice on Morphling, especially if you're building Conda.
Right.
Blink Strike is amazing. The attack speed.
You can get nasty. You can get nasty.
It's just a little bit of goodness for the Morphling, and obviously Shido, a very comfortable, very good Morphling player. If he sees something he likes, he's gonna go for it.
Now, I was gonna say Invaders don't really have a lot of stuns. Then they picked our little Rocky boy over here. That not only puts him in a great position to crush the mid lane up against Puck. Classic matchup, especially ever since the Tree Grab was added, right? And now number one, you got burst potential for the Morphling. And you just have a really high physical damage dealer that can work with the PA to crush you. Benefits from Sacred Magnus as well. This really does feel like the PA lineup, right? You're trying to give her everything she can get. Which draft are you liking a bit more here? Are there any?
I'm all in on the Invaders. I like it so much.
Okay.
I'm going in on the crazy.
Okay.
And to be fair, this is a crazy draft from Invaders,
so?
right? There's a lot of potential of this just not working, but if it works, it's going to be very stylish, much like Kotaro's Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, I mean, cosmetic game, they got it on point. Hell, I mean, this Crimson Witness Magnus thing blinging out. The only person who's not really dressed up for the occasion is Chen, but, you know, I'm sure he's sort of bringing his best sauce into this match here. One game away from going up against Lost Mode. Yeah, he's trying. You know, he has to rebuild that inventory. But, yeah, Plasma... they sort of have a pretty decent lineup as compared to last game, right? I think first things first for me, execution is a lot more straightforward, and your control is a lot less reliant on these crazy teamfight ultimates. You have the ability to keep things going and make things happen at a higher frequency than, you know, Black Hole and Lasso, right? Now even the Bat Rider without Lasso can actually contribute to potentially, let's say, breaking the coil or setting up for Hoodwink and adding a bit of damage there. So that's something to keep an eye out for. I will sort of just be the contrarian a little bit here and root for Plasma, because I think that first game wasn't really a good showing of what they can do, and anyone who can show us what's up, it's gonna be Shido Morphling.
Absolutely. Like this is like I wouldn't say this is the best Morphling game to ever have existed.
No.
Right? This is a fine Morphling game. It's harder into tiny, like, and when PA gets items, it gets a little bit harder then too.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of armor, so I don't know if TA is gonna, or PA rather, is gonna burst you from full to zero.
Yeah.
But the tiny is always gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Despite all that though, right? If you think it's a good Morphling game, if Shido's gonna pick Morphling, he feels it. I have full faith in him.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to, right? I'm sure that's what the entire lineup of Plasma feels as well. Now, one thing I will say is that the Morphling, he has borderline invulnerability when he gets the shot, because there isn't anything naturally that Invaders has in the view of a disabled that isn't a stun, right? Which means that attribute shift is always gonna go off. Now, any of these hero orchid buyers, I don't know if Sacred's gonna go for it, but we haven't been impressed with the orchids we've seen in the past, so you know, for Invaders,
it's such a good orchid game though.
Right?
It's so good.
That's what I'm saying. You know, you get it on the hook.
Oh, it's such a bait.
Morphling, Robo Z as well. It's just easy pickoffs. Speaking of easy pickoffs, looks like Michael has found himself on a little bit of an awkward high ground. Has a Divine Favor on him to help him with the regen, but as we know, level 1, it's a bit of a pathetic spell. They will get the return onto Kiri though, even though he's the one getting the first blood gold, and looks like Adrian might be in some trouble as well. Celestial Hammer in 2. Gonna try for the rundown, but against the daggers it might be a bit too much. Yeah, it looks like it'll be Stinger to grab that one instead.
And Alone got the other kill as well, so that's pretty big for the Tiny. Who did first blood go to?
Kiri.
Kiri? Oh, okay. The Kiri tax has been paid.
Yeah.
Paid in full, actually. That's the only kill he's gonna get all game incoming.
Yo, relax. Whoa, did you see that cute play? They left Prada up here. Kiri setting up with a branch, catching Totaro by surprise. The Divine Favor doesn't seem to be enough to get him regen up, or is it? Turns around for a parting dagger before going down. Excellent execution from the supporting cast of Plasma? Is that what you got? Okay, let's do that.
The creep wave was the real MVP there for Plasma. I think Otaro gets away there if he doesn't get body blocked to oblivion by the incoming creep wave.
It just it's like when you're trying to make a trip on public transport, just get bodied by every little stranger in existence. I can't really get past without a couple of shoulder brushes, maybe one gut check. You know, that's kind of what happens.
I'd say it's part of public transport culture. I'd say it's very important.
Yeah. In fact, one day if you sort of have a smooth journey in your commute without getting bumped, you might want to call the police. Someone's plotting against you.
Stinger's calling the police right now, and Kotaro's answering the phone.
Yeah.
Thank God someone's there to protect him.
Dude, can you imagine if you called the police, you're like, hey, you know, there's been a theft, and PA shows up at your door. It's like, who do I have to kill? You're like, my lord.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, like, we didn't know these were the circumstances that we are in this day and age.
To be fair, just get my stuff back. Don't care if you kill him. Just get my stuff back at that point.
Put the blades down, homie. I'm just trying to get get my wallet back. You gotta cut up all the cash.
Yeah, Hoodwink took my purse. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, just you know, if you could help me claim settlement, that'd be fine too.
Ooh, a little bit of side lawyer action.
Yeah. Yeah. He in court be like, Your Honor. Okay. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I'm going with this. Like... I'm just gonna leave it at that. Much quieter of an early game, and I think this definitely helps out with Plasma. Last thing you want is to get run over by some of these nice combos that they've set up for themselves, right? The Magnus as well as the Techies can get quite a bit of action going when you combine the blast off with the skewer to really get Shido out of place.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to have enough damage here in this bottom lane. Magnus doesn't supply too much damage. But you could get Prada once or twice, right? Get a nice skewer under tower. Things might get a little interesting.
Yeah. Especially now when Shido still has the wand as well as a Lotus in the pocket ready to pop whenevs. And I think mana is going to be a real issue for this duo in terms of trying to keep the harass up. So probably expecting 1 or 2 arcane boots. Maybe Michael's getting it because Sacred seems to have queued up those power treads.
Yeah, an early Bassi would be huge in this Invaders lane.
Just start ticking up, you know, start getting the passive regen working for you.
But I guess that's what the wands are for, right? All those sticks. Kotaro, top.
Oh, last auto
low
attack,
once
not enough.
again. Oh my god.
Nice. The Hill Troll Priest gotta get to work.
Yes. Oh, not a Kotaro just feeds here.
The Hill Troll Priest gonna officiate that funeral as Kotaro goes down. What the heck? Yeah, you just needed to wait a little bit. Not really respecting the Kiri damage, it seems like.
Radiant's middle
No,
tower
this is a level 2 Bushwhack. This actually does like stun and damage for quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is rare. I don't see a lot of people level Bushwhack level 2. This is super interesting to me. I see like a 1-1-1 mostly into like 1 or 2-1-1. Yeah.
I mean, you don't really need to scurry away from anything in this lane. You just need to go full out
No.
aggro. Center out the hammer. Yeah, you're threatening Adrian, but who's threatening who? Guns are out. He keeps that thing on him. I'll see a little bit of a disconnect. We didn't really talk about
little
this
bit of a
mid lane
crash.
yet, but no, that's you.
Oh, that's
this is-
me? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
This is a pause. So, just to clarify.
I mean, Tiny's doing quite well. He does still have a like they're even, but he also has a full wave coming into him. So
fair,
Alone
yeah.
is a little bit ahead. That's those 7 denies as well. It's not going to do anything, right? Tiny with a level 6 advantage over Puck. It's not going to amount to anything. Maybe if you rotate a support in, like maybe if Techies comes around, maybe then it amounts to something. But all it's going to do is delay Robo Z from wanting to make any rotations around the map a little bit longer.
Yeah. Maybe the 6 minute is when we'll see something meaningful because Prada's doing a good job in terms of tracing Michael's location. Just kind of like a GPS tracker on his little, you know,
Yeah.
on the cart and whatnot. So, you know, Michael's not going to be able to catch
It's in the
him by
barrel.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there. I mean, you can't really reach in there all willy-nilly. Your hand might get blown clean off, you know.
Might get bitten off. I don't know. What do you know the one in the barrel's name? Seems a little feisty.
I don't, dude,
Squee?
I feel like there's no one in the entirety of Dota, maybe other than Slacks, who knows what each one's name is. Like, which one is Spoon?
I bet one of my buddies knows. I bet I have a friend who knows. He is a techie spam, like level 30.
Look, to be fair,
climb to like 7 to 8k playing techies. Like disgusting.
I don't know if you really want to be revealing this person's whereabouts or information on stream, though. I'll be honest with you. Most of the people here get a little frustrated when they think the game has been swayed not in their favor, and I would hate to see their wrath imposed on your, I'm sure, very harmless and very fun and pleasant friend who spams techies. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with his personality.
Oh, he's messed. He's a messed up person, let me tell you.
Oh, really? That's
anyone has to be. Imagine spamming.
That's
The only thing
surprising.
worse than spamming techies is spamming Venomancer.
I will now exit the chat. Okay. I have a little time to discuss what our expectations are. We did sort of mention that this draft for Plasma is a little bit easier on the executional front. On the flip side, Invaders, it kind of feels like they've gone complete challenge mode, right? Not only is this draft technically more difficult, the heroes are not really at the forefront of the meta either, other than maybe if you consider techies. And when it all comes together in an ideal team fight, you're really relying on Sacred to land a killer RP, or maybe like 2 to 3 man avalanche, alone toss back, instant snipe someone before the fight starts. It feels so reachy. Like it feels like I'm making this shit up.
And like we kind of talked about last game with the Luna and who's going to be standing beside her, it's the same thing with all of these Plasma heroes. Who's going to be standing beside each other for your RP? Right, Kiri's going to be in the damn trees. Puck is going to be like disappeared or something, like jaunted away. Who the hell knows where Puck is?
Yeah.
Bat Rider's also going to be in the trees, flying around like a damn nuisance.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be Morphling because Dawnbreaker's going to be on their damn side of the map. So it's just one hero how the hell do you start a fight other than instantly blowing up the Morphling every time?
Yeah, it kind of feels like they have to rely on bursting somebody, and if they aren't able to do it, like if Adrian's even a second late on the Solar Guardian, that's where Invaders can get an advantage. But that kind of executional edge is so hard to pull off. I think the big thing that we always talk about when we see Magnus, which is quite often for some reason,
Yeah.
is the vision game, right? And you have small little ways of getting the advantage there with your Chen, with your techies, but these aren't heroes that can walk up to the front line and give you that all-out, like, full look at the fight. And without that, it becomes very hard for the PA to operate, very hard for you to land an RP, and even more difficult for the Tiny to make a jump he feels confident about, right? Without feeling like you're brazenly giving away your life for the setup. So Invaders, you know, I'm sure they have a plan, and it probably goes along like what we were mentioning, bursting someone down 100-0. But whether the right someone will show for them, that's really down to Plasma, it feels like.
Yeah, right now it's up to Plasma to be outplaying their opponent a little bit, because Invaders, they have this very punish you draft, right? They are going to punish you for your miss execution at every turn. I think that's what Tiny Magnus is really good at, right? If you are mispositioned once, you are getting kidnapped by 2 different heroes.
Yeah. Kidnapped is the best way to put it. It's someone called the police and PA showed up, you know what I mean? And it's just unlucky you had PA called on you a little bit. But,
yeah, it happens.
Actually,
What
PA
can you
is
do?
the one doing the calling now. She's like PA is like, yeah, I'll settle it. Don't worry, I'll get your wallet back. And then she just kind of sits down and makes herself a cup of tea, and you're like, wait, aren't you settling it? She's like, yeah, my homies got it. And suddenly just a giant rhino and a huge mass of rocks burst through the door, grabbing a squirrel in their hand. Is like, boss, is this her? And then she's like, yeah, I'm writing an
And she
entire sitcom.
executes them.
Yeah. And then she just takes the blade out, breathes out like a little breath of hot air after drinking her tea. Divine slash. It's done. That's
That was a very anime ending.
that's a pilot episode. What do you think? You think it'll make it past the sort of
I don't think it's gonna make it past the pilot episode, if I'm being honest, Sneeze.
damn. Will the pilot episode at least be made? We're thinking?
Ooh, maybe like a source filmmaker, poorly made animation kind of stuff.
No, doomed to become the
Yeah.
forgotten short films in the short film contest. This couldn't be any worse.
I that's funny you mentioned that, because I don't think I remember a single short film. I remember there was a Life Stealer one.
No,
in
dude,
most
this,
the last years.
I'll throw you one. They
Okay.
last year they did a really pretty. I think this was the one that won, and this is one of the guys who usually wins anyway. A W200 Me. I think he used to do the Symphony of Skills edits for Delta Cinema and all that. So he did a whole animation where I
See?
No. I'm trying to remember the exact storyline because I don't know whether I'm mixing it up. So there was one where a drow essentially comes back to life with an Aegis, and when she initially gets ganked, it looks like it's over for her, and her opponents forget that she has an Aegis. So it becomes this crazy cool cutscene where, you know, the drow's just hammering everyone down, dodging projectiles, outplaying each individual teammate. It's really great animation. That's one. I think the other one I'm getting confused about is this shot called Chemical Rage, where Alk actually passes, basically uses his shard on an ally, PA or troll or something, and then suddenly his vision gets blurry and he kills off what he thinks are his enemies, and when his vision clears up, he realizes he has killed his own teammates. So that was a good one. Like I thought that storyline was
sounds
cool.
pretty good.
Yeah,
that does sound really good.
Look, you ready for another short film? Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised you remember all these. Holy shit!
I'm gonna tell you a short film idea. Since we have time to kill, and you need to tell me whether it's real or not. Okay.
Oh god. Okay.
Okay. So this particular short film, I'm gonna do it in as little detail as possible, so it could be a convincing lie or convincing truth. Okay. So this short film is about a TA chasing a Rubik, okay? And Rubik decides to escape into TF2.
That's got to be a real short film.
Your vote is that it's real?
I want it to be real.
And then he goes through all the other Valve games, like all the other Valve games.
Okay, now
and
you've
then,
lost me.
And
no,
then he
I don't
ends.
think so.
And then he ends back. And then at the end, he like goes through all the games, and there are no more Valve games, and you're like, what's gonna happen next? And then the computer like shuts down. That's the short film. Is it real or is it not?
You had me at the beginning with he goes to TF2 land, but I don't know about all the other Valve games. I don't know. You had me in the first bit. I'm gonna go with fake.
You're gonna go with fake?
Yeah.
Okay, you're wrong. That's a real short film. It was excellently animated, by the way.
Damn
It was great.
Oh.
Like it was really, really good.
I need to go watch that because that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, you should get yourself acquainted with the short films. Like they're okay. There are some who are definitely better than others, but you know, I think it's still a nice little bit of Dota content, you know.
We desperately need it too.
Sure.
Outside of like the esports scene, Dota content is running very dry.
Hey, Crownfall update coming soon, smile.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that actually.
Let me run you through one more short film that might potentially be real or not, and you can tell me whether, and then we can move on to talk about Crownfall. Hang on. Okay. So this short film is about basically a team full of hopeless pub players. They're just getting demolished. They're getting fountain farmed, and then suddenly, I think their anti-mage rats the opponent base and gets one lane of rags, and suddenly that revitalizes their whole team. They put up a fight, and then they end the game by fountain farming their opponents, and that's the short film.
No, I'm gonna go with fake.
That is another real short film, you goddamn idiot!
I thought you were baiting me.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Why would taking racks revitalize you? That sounds
okay.
odd.
I might have gotten the exact storyline a little different.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like it's a fake one then.
No, it's 100% real. So it's centered around
it sounds
Sniper.
pretty fake to me.
No, okay. Well, now you're just a bit of a sore loser. So okay.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, we can go 1-1. We can go 1-1, which is I think
sure.
Unfortunately how we were hoping this lower bracket finals would go, right? But if it's really a situation where RoboZ can't reconnect, that's
a big yikes, because that is like a lot of their team fights.
Yeah, I also wonder if that's Invaders can unpause. So moment of truth here, Alone didn't really seem too keen on waiting around. There's also the option for Invaders to give their pause time, even though, you know, that would be very sportsmanlike of them, although I'm not very sure if that's what they want to do. So I think the thing I'm most curious about is, okay, so Kiri's asking for 2 minutes and Sacred's like, nah, homie.
Nope.
Oh, that's gotta sting.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Someone's gotta Kiri, it's time to play RoboZ, dude. Get out of the lane. Leave your Dawnbreaker alone. It's time to win mid.
Yeah, someone's gotta get him farming. The last thing you want is for this puck to be a little behind.
Nice. Make up stacks. Very cool.
Okay, not too bad. Prada's gonna sort of
Prada's gonna go farm it himself.
Look, I think this is still salvageable, because if what Kiri says is true and it's really just 2 minutes, we should be fine. Right?
Yeah.
But you know,
I don't know, that was like almost 10 minutes of pause, so
yeah, we were just sitting here yapping.
If RoboZ's coming back, it's it must be foretold in the Discord between Kiri and him, because I've got no hope, dude. Yeah. RoboZ must be running to a LAN center right now.
I sure hope so. I mean, whatever the situation here is, I just Alone knows who's microwing him too, because Prada's the only hero not showing on the map. You just gotta make that logical deduction.
Hoodwink doing a really good job of clearing these creeps, as she will constantly be doing this game, right? Destroying the Chen, the creeps, the heroes that are connected with said creeps. Another nice little stack stinger. Man, this must suck for Plasma. Oh. This must feel so bad. Especially because they're sitting 2 heroes mid now all of a sudden. Techies just decided to join the fray.
He's like, I still need to make up the hit count in this lane. There's supposed to be 2 players here. Gotta fill in the gap somehow, even if it's just from our team. Alone's gonna lap all of this up, right? Net worth wise, he's gonna just balloon and get his way towards potentially a really quick, I don't know, blink dagger.
Blink dagger, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe you go greedy and go Echo Saber
Let's go
first, but
Midas, right?
that'd
Who
be
even cares?
crazy.
Go
Ooh.
Midas. Oh, Robo V. Prada, excellent puck play. Love to see it. Dodgers.
Prada the puck we need.
Yeah. The P in Prada actually stands for puck, so just...
Oh, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
What does the R, the A, the D, and the other A stand for?
Believe it or not, Rada. Are you illiterate? Okay.
Rada, got
Dude,
it,
look,
got it.
This series has you know what's crazy?
We've
It's not
devolved.
yeah, I don't know what's going on, but like I think the pause kind of got us a bit, and also I think game one went a lot more one-sided than I expected. To be completely honest with you,
Yes, it 100% did.
I think we've been very impressed with Adrian performances
Radiant's middle tower is under
overall,
attack.
the whole series and the whole season actually. But this Dawnbreaker doesn't really seem like it's the right sauce. Now they'll square up onto Stinger, and just like game one, they'll be able to get him. But is there any real world consequence? No, not the Solar Guardian cancel. And you gotta imagine Adrian saw that coming too, because you know Alone was showing on the creep wave, but probably not really processing. And that's a double kill for Alone. That is unfortunate to say the least.
Oh, yeah. That's very lightly putting it. Holy moly. That feels so bad, because that sums up the entire last game for Plasma. Right? Adrian tries to make a move and gets stopped by Alone. That was the entire game. Or Adrian makes a move way too soon.
Yeah, and I don't look, as much as I want to sort of give respect to the players and all that, I think it's a little bit hard to analyze about what they could do now. Ooh, Kotaro narrowly sliding out of trouble up here on this top side. Still very lethal duo, and I think this is kind of what you need to focus on, right? Because I was just about to say, like, with the puck just having to be fully controlled by the Bat Rider, it's really sacking his ability to make plays. But you need to utilize the tools that are available. Sharpshooter online for Kiri. So you can blast down this PA, but Alone, he's in the area again. You gotta imagine he's hungry for some pickoffs.
Oh, he's so close to his Blink Dagger. Of course he's hungry. Man is starving for a pickoff. He needs that gold fast.
Oh, well,
There's a little
bit of
stack he could
advantage.
take it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No, back mid. He's gonna go get that gold one way or another. He's gonna kill something, but it might just have to be creeps.
Yeah. You gotta upgrade, you know. Level 1 is the creeps,
Yeah.
level 2 is a hero. Now straight in onto Stinger. Looks like Sharpshooter being wound up. Should be enough to take down the Chen. But meanwhile, Robo Z just gets found while disconnecting. That is cruel. But that's the reality of life. In comes Michael, but nice little flame break from Prada just to hold them at bay. And Michael will actually burn up. Kotaro is here,
RP.
but a beautiful RP holding Adrian and the Bat Rider in place. Solar Guardian should be able to go off this time. But Kotaro, such flashy plays, just blink striking away, has a higher level in that than inside the dagger, actually, which is a pretty interesting build that pays off for the PA big time. Level 3 Phantom Strike, would you know it? Gets her
Interesting.
out of trouble.
Dire's bottom
Now,
tower
if
is
this
under
was
attack.
older PA, I would almost understand the more points in the Phantom Strike, right? That was your source of lifesteal. I'm pretty sure it is still your source of lifesteal. Yeah, it gives you exactly 0% lifesteal
Nice,
on the
nice,
tooltip.
yeah.
Thank you, Valve.
Yeah, shout out. Just
Shout
baiting
shout
players
out
who-
to...
if you knew how to read English but not numbers, you'd be in big trouble playing PA.
Yeah. Or if you like take a quick glance and you think it's like 100 and you're like, oh, like wow, it's a lot of lifesteal. No.
Yeah, your brain just fills in the gaps a little bit of what you wish it was.
Yeah.
That's a little rough.
It happens. It happens. It's okay.
Yeah, that's you with those short films, like thinking of them were fake, by the way. That's how could you
Okay.
disrespect the damn artists like that? That was hard storyboarding work, man.
I bet it was. A lot of work goes into those short films, and surprised by a lot of them.
Oh, set up again. Kotaro gonna take advantage of that high level in the blink strike to just weave his way out of situations. And the more I see it, the more I like it. Actually, I think it's gonna help him out a lot in terms of dealing with the onslaught of aggression that should come out from this +1 lineup. But unfortunately, on this fine evening or afternoon, wherever you're watching from, it seems like Kiri is a bit of a liar. RoboZ, it's been like what feels like 5 minutes and he's still not back. Sacred along with Alone and Michael get it done in this belt side onto Prada. Meanwhile, tussling up in the top side. Nice little bushwhack. They don't have the ultimate though, but they should be able to slide through. No, healing so much on the Chen.
my God.
Lord. Last little bit of damage. Hammer finds it, but the blast off through double bombs down, and you can't even get an attack off. Shido comes to the twin gates though. The side of Plasma, they're not down just yet. Sharpshooter comes through, breaks up on the PA. No more evasion for you, but another blink strike out. Oh, it's not enough.
The early
completed.
phylactery.
Shido, okay.
Shido's done it again. This is the second game where we've seen him get this phylactery before boots. And it worked out very well last time for him. This is super cool itemization from Shido.
Yeah, it's not going to stop Sacred from still trampling all over this bot side though. Killing spree now for this Magnus. And that's the reality of playing 4v5. You need to just make sure you're splitting your resources perfectly, and sometimes that might come out and bite you instead.
It's hard because of your plasma. You still want to be playing like buttons around. Oh no, Shido.
Easy setup. No vision spotting it. Only wards in the lanes, and that's going to catch them off guard alone. It wasn't really 100 to 0, but essentially just one-shots the Morphling.
Yeah, Morphling had a little bit of strength there, but not too much.
Yeah, he's just about all the strength that this lineup has right now, Plasma. It is very, very dire. Sacred will miss out on that skewer though a little bit. Unfortunately, I expected Q to take the pathway down, but you know, maybe attracted by some centaurs up here on this top side. Of the lane at least.
Radiant's middle tower.
Now this just proves that Kiri is a better hoodwink than your average player. I think a lot of people rely on this scurry, where Kiri is confident enough without it, which I think is really cool.
I kind of think it's almost mandatory if you want to do enough damage to get these pickoffs, but now he'll be the one who suffers that fate. Alone did get bricked up a bit by this flame break that Prada was just tossing out to prevent the aggression. Oh, Shido's just getting collapsed upon down here. They have full vision of him, and he is going to go down, strength morph or not. The waveform just doesn't cover enough of a distance. To try and turn things around here, Solar Guardian coming through as well. Maybe he'll survive. Maybe he'll be fine. TPing in on the park. He is disconnected, but someone can play him. And his name is Kiri, coming through with the orb and the coil, controlling up on the Tiny for now. Even 4v5. Plasma, they're finding opportunities here. If they can get this Tiny kill, it's gonna be huge. In comes the Bat Rider, but they might not even need him. Nice Avalanche to buy them time, but Kiri's there. Might just be a great escape alone. He's out of range. But unfortunately, looks like the techies will be the new target instead. Michael has to sacrifice his life. Dave is tiny, but the price they're willing to pay. Robo Z though, the disconnected part, will get the slice down by Kotaro. You lasso him up to the high ground on PA, but it doesn't matter. He has the blink strike back down, and alone was able to finish off the initial target on Shido. Now Kotaro, it's a 3v2 situation. Magnus back in the fray with a huge RP on the 2. Finds them, pulls them back into Kotaro's grasp. But can you really challenge up against Adrian? He has 20 stick charges and ready to throw out the hammer, working down onto Stinger. Just needs to wind up. 1 more second. It's only a level 1 Starbreaker, but it should suffice. Throw it out onto Sacred, but this man, he's surviving for so long. And it's that Chen Vlad aura doing mad work in this fight. The Celestial Hammer will finally burn out the Magnus though. But Kotaro, he's been allowed to stay safe in this fight. Lifesteal might not be present on the Phantom Strike, but when the Chen's just staying in range perpetually, you have more than enough to work through. Here comes the Morphling back in the fray, and Kotaro, his time might have finally ended. Adrian, too tanky with the blades of his own and able to survive. And would you look at that? Robo Z is back. Plasma, I think they stand a real chance here.
Oh my god, yeah, RoboZ's back, baby. It's all starting now. RoboZ, he's already got his Witchblade too.
Yeah,
someone's kept him in this game.
Yeah, and that man is Prada, not hampered by adversary, not ready to tap out at the slight just kind of inconvenience there. 5 minutes without puck, who cares? We game on, and a valiant fight in the bot side to hold off the side of Invaders, and they get every single member.
And it all comes down to Adrian's skill build, right? This was a very greedy Dawnbreaker build. Oh no, Shido, the Mage Slayer on top of him as well, but he does get the shift off, so he's fine.
Oh, they can just get alone now. Who, true to his name, where are his allies? Very ambitious little play here, thinking he can catch Shido off guard, and even if you were, that wasn't the execution that was gonna make it happen. You come out and start with a tree toss auto attack first. Michael's gonna die as well. Invaders, perhaps getting a little bit too comfortable in the situation. They understand and respect that Plasma are great opponents, which is why they unpause, but maybe being lulled into a false sense of security. A couple of value kills over now that they've lost out to key heroes on Plasma.
Despite all that, PA, after that unfortunate engagement is going to be back to farming, but Adrian,
Radiant's top tower
this
is under
skill
attack.
build, the itemization so far, what I'm seeing is perfect from this hero, from this player. Going in for the Ags, so good. It is such an already, Solar Guardian, very anti-RP, right? All of a sudden, you don't have the damage to kill them off like you thought you would unless you've got a cleave PA, like critting. Kiri, he might eat something a little bit mid, but no, he's fine. Into the trees he goes.
Yeah.
The Solar Guardian, so good into RP. Add the Ags on top of that, there is no more damage coming out from these right clickers.
Yeah, I think the main thing that we talked about this draft, the reason why it's going to be hard to execute, you have a decent amount of magic burst damage initially, but we saw from that fight, it's starting to get tricky to bring Adrian down. Sun Mommy looking like Sugar Mommy the way she's making bank right now, and she is already one component away from that Axe that you mentioned is going to be so high value against largely physical damage over time that Invaders have. Evasion, she's not going to get an MKB, she's barely got her BKB.
Black King Bar before Monkey King Bar is generally the rule.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single hero that forgoes a BKB for an MKB.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't think that's the right option, but you need it ASAP
No.
with how fast this Dawnbreaker is scaling up. And even though the rest of the course, you know, RoboZ disconnected for the most of it, unfortunate that he's gonna have to claw his net worth all the way back up. He does have that Blink Dagger flying out. Now Prada does get caught in the bot side. This is a 3-hero commitment, but a great move from Invaders. And they haven't really taken this mid tower yet, which I thought, you know, would surely be down. Maybe that's gonna be their next sort of spot of aggression.
That's very surprising to me, honestly. Especially when Puck has been all DC'd for half of the game.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Prada's been doing a diligent job at microing the puck to make sure RoboZ is clearing these waves,
Yeah.
right? Top side alone has found Kiri, but it's not enough damage at this point, and that is a big, big concern. You're starting to lose your edge on the Tiny's ability to burst someone 100 to 0, and this should be prime time for Plasma to continue some aggression, right? Make use of this Blink Dagger that RoboZ has freshly picked up to maybe find yourself some pickoffs.
You've got Ags on Dawnbreaker now too. Plasma all of a sudden are looking
Absolutely.
ripe to take a fight.
Yeah. Smoke up, not really spotted by any wards despite the very, not unique placements, but pretty deep wards, spotting out any potential movement up and down the river. And that's the thing with the techies, you kind of got to avoid the mines as well, but so far they haven't really gotten caught out. Just the techies up here though.
If they find Michael instead of Alone, it's actually kind of huge, because this is a big start for Plasma's game.
Oh,
Right? And their
Alone.
comeback starts now.
Nice blink away, but RoboZ gets the call out. Has the illusion rune, sorry. Still pulling back, but nice glimmer. In comes Solar Guardian, it's off the mark though. Meanwhile, Prada's just dying in the mid lane. This wasn't really the Aghanim Scepter reveal that you wanted. RoboZ, he's still gonna try and make something happen, but Alone has the setup. Nice silence on the backline, so stop any follow-up coming out from Sacred. And the pushback to hold them at bay as well, but it doesn't cancel the blink, which means that Kiri has to die for this engagement.
Plan B it is.
Someone's got to pay the carry tax, right?
True.
It's just, it's the time of game. But, I mean, that's still fine for Plasma, I guess. Like, you don't lose anyone else other than Kiri, which is best case scenario. Unfortunately, it is all obviously overall a net loss, because you also lose Solar Guardian as well. That's, I think, the biggest loser there, is the Aghanim's reveal is all for naught now.
Yeah, now I wonder what Invaders are gonna do with this timing though, because it is coming back up in 30. It's not a really huge window. It seems like they're just content farming up and scaling up on Kotaro, right? He wants to put this Battle Fury to work. So far, it hasn't really resulted in him eclipsing the Dawnbreaker, which is kind of crazy how much net worth Adrian has amassed.
It's that carrying him, dude. Adrian knows exactly where to farm and how to get as much out of these heroes as possible, and it's
That's true.
very easy to farm on Dawnbreaker as well. Right, you throw the hammer at a creep wave, it is dead. You can just go and farm the camps at that point.
True. Oh, pump faking the RP, but Sacred might regret that one. Yeah, because of that, they'll toss him in. Still RP up.
Nice.
I mean, it seems like they've just deserted Adrian completely, which, to be completely honest with you, I don't know whether that was the right call. They'll finally come through, but without their Dawnbreaker, arguably their strongest hero, do they still have the cojones to take this fight? Kiwi's just gonna get autoed down by Sacred. You lasso up, but your Batrider dies in mid-ult. And it's still a huge two-man avalanche. They found Shido, and even though you've mopped up into the Magnus, you can't skewer your way out of this business. You're just gonna get punched down. Very confusing series of events for Plasma, as
their supports went through the gate and just left Adrian alone. Like, just a moment of disconnect. I get so. This is my big problem with Dawnbreaker. It's so easy to understand how Dawnbreaker is going to be played. Constantly she's going to be left alone, like we just saw, because she's got her ulti up. Right?
Yeah.
Leave Dawnbreaker alone, put pressure elsewhere on the map, but just as that was happening, pressure starts coming down bottom towards the Dawnbreaker. Invaders know exactly where she's going to be and who's going to be with her. No one.
Yeah. To be fair, if they made that move just 30 seconds earlier, it would have been a full-blown team fight, but whether it's the read or whether it's just the game sense coming out from the Invaders lineup, they capitalize on that timing. That really just marks the first time in this game that it feels like Adrian has actually been punished for just kind of being left high and dry. For the most part, he's been able to play the offside of the map pretty well. He's gonna divert to a bit of a safer location as his team looks to aggress. You know the RP is still on cooldown at least for a little bit and want to get some action going. Every cooldown is available other than the lasso. Straight through the tree lines. Oh, Kotaro blinks out just in the nick of time, and now Prada's in trouble. Instantly melted down by the tiny Hand of God as well, just to keep them healthy. And Shido's starting to go to work. Solar Guardian coming through. This looks like a much better fight for them as a buyback from Prada. But Shido, he's in the mix. Has he gone a bit too deep here? They are able to blow up Sacred. But Shido, he's starting to lose HP, and he gets crushed by Kotaro. Full on crit. A third triple kill for the PA as it's set up perfectly. You don't need an RP for that if you're all just gonna walk straight into her hands. And Deso charges through the roof. BKB not even needed. Invaders, they're gonna trample through the mid lane.
You know, I don't necessarily think PA is this hero with this early timing that like Luna, like Medusa. But damn, are Invaders making this PA look good. Right? The 23 minutes Deso BKB. Where else Kotaro found all this farm once again?
Yeah. I mean, you have to sort of take into consideration the empower effect, right? Sacred has that maxed out and prepped a couple of stacks for him to work with as well. The Battle Fury timing has been a great one. Even though the PA had a bit of a slower start, it doesn't matter because like we mentioned, you just get that farming mechanic up and running and the engine go brr. Kotaro, him and the creeps, you know, they have a bit of a relationship. He knows exactly where to find them and put them to use. And that Adrian net worth advantage we were talking about, smoked after that fight.
It is gone. Like within 2 minutes is devastated. Now they might find Kotaro here on Adrian, but I don't think Adrian can do it alone.
And even if they find Adrian, or maybe they bring one or two more, Kotaro, with that BKB and how nearby his allies are, can just turn around on you, and that's like getting a PA called up on you when you call the police. It's unpleasant to say the least.
Radiant's top tower is under
It's when the PA calls the police, when the PA dispatches for backup.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Plasma, they've put up a good fight this entire tournament. Had great showing in the group stage across all their matches, but it seems like they might just be seeing double. And that's a 2-0 looking down the barrel, knocked out of Kansas at the grand finals. They'd love to give Los Motes a second try after getting so close in their series to potentially beating them. Taking out that playoff seed, but it'll be the other playoff seed that has them with their backs against the wall right now. One Rax claimed already. With this unorthodox strategy, they found a way to empower this PA literally and figuratively and make it work. What can you do on Plasma to respond?
The last fight might be starting right about now, Sneeze. This is as good as it's gonna get for Plasma, unfortunately.
Firefly on the sidelines. Spots out alone, but they'll just continue to kite around. Additional HP on all their heroes thanks to that golem. Controlled up. Start out with the lasso, but oh, it sets up for the perfect RP! Sacred brings you in and you just get melted! Kotaro, this is the dream PA game! GG is called and Invaders. A couple of hurdles, a couple of fumbles, but it's not gonna matter. Pause or not, you gotta admit, they look like clearly the better team in this game. And Plasma, this will be the end of their EPL Season 9.
So hard to go out like that for Plasma too, because just imagine the kind of spade, like, You do have to imagine, because who knows if it was going to happen or not. But imagine the amount of space that RoboZ could have made onto Kataro. Like, not having a ganking tool on your team for Plasma in the early to mid game was so detrimental to them. It was so sad to see, because PA is just able to then free farm the entire game because there's no chance a puck is going to come and gank you. Battle Fury timing, fantastic. Deso BKB timing, great as well. You could not ask for a more farmed PA at that stage of the game. Look at the net worth disparity between these two heroes.
It is not even close. And, you know, at the end of the day, you could blame it on the RoboZ disconnect. You could blame it on whoever. I genuinely think that it would not have made a difference given the early game that Plasma had up until the disconnect, right? Things were looking very nice for Invaders. Sure, you know, they were able to put up a good hold in the bot side, even without their puck. But
it's so unfortunate to go out like that. Like, that's the best way to put it, because who knows what could have happened with Plasma, right? Like, because the game, you can only theory craft now because we know what happened because of the disconnect. But who knows what could have been possible if RoboZ was actually there for the entire time. He was kind of getting dogged on in the mid lane as
that's
well,
what I'm
so
saying.
right, like, but who knows, right? All the puck needs is level 6 and a rune. Doesn't need anything other than level 6 to gank. Doesn't need any items to gank. Would like a Witchblade, sure, but really just needs a rune. Come level 6, no RoboZ. Level 8 minute, 10 minute, 12 minute, no RoboZ, no ganks.
Yeah, and I think you put it perfectly, because the Dawnbreaker relies on Solar Guardianing onto someone. If that's your only strat, Invaders do the very famous at this point walk away from you move.
Yeah.
And what's the plan, homie? You know what I mean? And I think whatever plan that Plasma came up with for this draft, I think we saw some instances of it in play, in action. But it's unfortunate that we'll never be able to see it in its entirety, and that's just as Kanye West put it best, I guess we'll never know, right? And that does end Plasma's run here. I think for those of you who are just watching Plasma for the first time and wondering, yo man, how did this team even make it this far? I do urge you to go back and watch some of the Plasma VODs, because they had good showings, they had promising moments, and they even had us thinking, you know, either one of these three teams could take the championship. Unfortunately, you know, maybe a different Plasma woke up on the wrong side a bit today. Maybe things just not really panning out in their favor. Fate didn't have it through for them, as Invaders will be your grand finalist contenders up against Los Motes. Now, we still do have a lot of time until the finals. I think precisely 1 hour and 5 minutes, and that'll be casted by Dodai as well as Coaster Benz. Your usual, you know what to expect, but that'll be for a while. So we'll chill here for a bit.
Just use TP. Set up on top.